Hey there, my name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life. Each year, at least 12 million people visit Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and it seems like every year the park breaks a new record. For example, in 2021, over 14 million people visited the park, setting a new park record. Of the 63 designated U.S. national parks, Great Smoky Mountains National Park is the most visited U.S. national park, and it's been the most visited national park for almost a decade. One of the top tourist destinations in all of the Smokies is Clingmans Dome, one of the tallest mountains in the Appalachian Mountain chain. In this video, I'm going to share 10 facts about Clingmans Dome while sharing amazing scenery of this location and the Smokies. Now, in full disclosure, this isn't your typical run-of-the-mill surface-level facts video. Even if you know and love the Smoky Mountains and Clingmans Dome, you'll learn something new. In the description, you'll find links to all the information in this video. Now, there's a good chance that someone watching this video has hiked to the top of the Smokies too. We want to hear about your experience, so please leave a comment. We respond to all comments, so add your questions to the comment section as well. So go ahead and hit that like button, and let's get started with 10 crazy, amazing, know-it-all facts about Clingmans Dome in Great Smoky Mountain National Park. Number 10. Clingmans Dome, the highest point in Great Smoky Mountains National Park. East of the Mississippi, Clingmans Dome is a pretty impressive mountain. At 6,643 feet, Clingmans Dome is the highest point in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and it's the highest point in the state of Tennessee. It's the highest point on the Appalachian Trail, the world-famous 2,200-mile trail that travels through 14 states along the crests and valleys of the Appalachian Mountains from Maine to Georgia. Clingmans Dome is the third largest mountain east of the Mississippi River, behind Mount Mitchell and Mount Craig in North Carolina. It's the most accessible mountain peak in the Appalachian Mountains, and by some accounts, it's the most visited mountain peak in the Appalachian Mountain chain. Number 9. Driving to the highest peak in the Smokies. When driving to Clingmans Dome from any direction, you take one of the most popular roads in the U.S., Newfound Gap Road, the amazing mountain road with breathtaking views of the Smoky Mountains connecting Gatlinburg, Tennessee and Cherokee, North Carolina, and the only road that takes you through the heart of Great Smoky Mountains National Park. It's one of the most visited mountain roads in all of the Appalachian Mountains. We've even made a video about Newfound Gap Road that you can watch by clicking the tab in the top right corner of your screen now, and I'll put a link at the end of this video as well. Driving to Clingmans Dome is half the fun. Just off Newfound Gap Road, it's a 7-mile scenic drive on Clingmans Dome Road to the parking lot at Clingmans Dome Trail. Clingmans Dome Road is the highest road in the state of Tennessee, and it's narrow. But there are some amazing views of Great Smoky Mountains National Park all along the way, and you can access some of the park's best hiking trails. Number 8. Clingmans Dome Hike. Clingmans Dome is the most accessible mountaintop in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, and it's a breathtaking drive to Clingmans Dome from North Carolina or Tennessee. But you can't drive the entire way to the mountaintop. You have to hike the last half mile to Clingmans Dome Tower. Hiking, walking, I guess it's a matter of perspective. So after a scenic 7-mile drive on Clingmans Dome Road, you arrive at a large parking area. There are restrooms and a gift shop. During peak season, this parking lot is full. But people are always coming and going, so just drive around the parking lot, be patient, and a parking space will open right up. Although the trail is paved, it is way too steep to be wheelchair accessible, and to say it's steep is an understatement. Pets and bicycles are not permitted. In fact, pets and bikes aren't permitted on any of the trails in the area. But cycling is a pretty big deal in the Smokies. So if you're a cyclist, there's a bike rack located near the beginning of the paved trail, but make sure you bring a lock to secure your bike. Number 7. Visibility at the highest point in the Smokies. On a clear day, you can see for over 100 miles in any direction from Clingmans Dome, but several factors may interfere with your mountain view experience. Visibility is often hindered by air pollution from outside the park. But these days, Great Smoky Mountains National Park is trending the right direction, and air pollution is better now than it has been in decades. Another reason visibility is often limited is weather. Clouds, precipitation, and cold temperatures are common at Clingmans Dome. It can be 10 to 20 degrees cooler on Clingmans Dome than Gatlinburg or Cherokee. But it's this cooler, wet mountaintop weather that makes this amazing spruce fir forest possible. But it also means that you're not guaranteed a perfect view. And finally, there's a reason they're called the Smoky Mountains. The white vapor that looks like smoke rising from the forest below comes from plants. I'm sure you remember learning in elementary school that plants breathe carbon dioxide and release oxygen. Plants also release volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. VOCs release vapors in high concentration, and they also make that fresh pine tree smell. VOCs also give the Smoky Mountains their blue hue. Great Smoky Mountains National Park is the most biodiverse park in the national park system. There are millions and millions of plants in this park, so these plants release a lot of vapor and a wonderful fragrance. Number 6. The tallest mountain in Tennessee? Like I mentioned in a previous fact, to get to the parking lot at Clingmans Dome, you turn off Newfound Gap Road onto Clingmans Dome Road in Tennessee. But the line dividing North Carolina and Tennessee runs right across the mountain. While on Clingmans Dome Road, you can't really tell if you're in North Carolina or Tennessee. Even Google Earth has a hard time determining which state you're in when you begin the 7-mile trip on Clingmans Dome Road. Websites discussing Clingmans Dome often avoid the subject altogether because it can be quite confusing. During colonial times, the land now called Tennessee belonged to North Carolina. In 1789, an act passed by the North Carolina legislature ceded what is now Tennessee to the federal government. This act fixed a portion of the boundary between the two states along the crest of the Great Iron or Smoky Mountains, which would have included the mountain now known as Clingmans Dome. Now, Tennessee became a state in 1796. So Clingmans Dome belongs to Tennessee, right? Well, try asking Google something like this. Clingmans Dome is in what state? You get this. Or at least I do. But the National Park website says that Clingmans Dome is the highest point in the state of Tennessee. So which is it? Well, Clingmans Dome lies within both North Carolina and Tennessee. So it is the highest point in Tennessee. But Clingmans Dome is also listed with North Carolina's 40 amazing 6,000-foot peaks. And I'm sure you've already guessed, it's also listed with Tennessee's 11 peaks above 6,000 feet. So it makes the big mountain list in both states. Hey, I just want to take a moment to thank you for choosing to watch this video. There are a lot of amazing videos on many different platforms. I'm so grateful that you're giving our video content a chance, and I hope we're making it worth your valuable time. I really hope you'll hit the like button and click the bell for notifications. Comments are really appreciated as every comment helps grow our channel. We make a variety of video content, and we hope you'll be a part of our growing community. Again, thank you for watching. Okay, let's get back to Clingmans Dome. Number 5. Walking to the highest point in the Smokies. I've hiked all over the Appalachian Mountains, and I seldom see a paved trail. One might be tempted to think this isn't a trail at all, but more like a sidewalk or a walkway. But the half-mile to the observation tower isn't easy by any stretch of the imagination. You gain 332 feet, which makes the trail gradient almost 13%. That's steep for any age or level of physical fitness. And don't forget, you're hiking at 6,000 feet. The air is thinner, it's harder to breathe. Many hiking websites rate this trail as strenuous, which is saying the trail is a level 4 on a 5-level scale. This trail might be way too much for the elderly, or if you're really out of shape. But on my trip, I was surrounded by people of all shapes, ages, and sizes. Sure, we were all breathing hard, but there were also people wearing flip-flops gliding up the mountain like a gazelle. Believe it or not, people were encouraging each other, and there was a lot of laughter too. I didn't see anyone quit. For most people, the key is bringing some bottled water, taking your time, and stopping often to rest. Many websites claim that it takes anywhere from 40 to 45 minutes to walk the half-mile to the top and back, and that includes time at the observation tower. I completed the round trip in about 40 minutes, and if I can do it, I bet you can too. Now, if you don't do a lot of walking or hiking, consult your doctor first. If you've hiked to Clingmans Dome, tell us what your experience was like in the comments. Number 4. What's killing the Fraser fir trees on Clingmans Dome? The balsam woolly adelgid is a small wingless insect that infest and kill Fraser firs in the spruce fir zone. The infection of the susceptible Fraser fir was first detected in the late 1950s, and the trees were nearly decimated by the 1980s, with the vast majority of adult trees succumbing to the disease. This fir occurs naturally only in the southern Appalachians and used to be the dominant tree at the highest elevations. The insect was introduced to the region on trees imported from Europe around 1900, and the fir has little natural defense. Great Smoky Mountains National Park contains about 75% of all southern spruce fir ecosystems. The balsam woolly adelgids destroyed about 95% of the Fraser firs in Great Smoky Mountains National Park, creating ghost forests, what you see here. However, after decades of managing and monitoring the highlands of the Appalachian Mountains, foresters are seeing a comeback of the Fraser fir. They are discovering young, healthy firs that are more resistant to the woolly adelgid than mature trees. Researchers are also trying to produce firs that are genetically resistant to the woolly adelgid so that healthy trees can be reintroduced to natural stands. Number 3. The mountaintop flying saucer. It's no secret Clingmans Dome Tower looks like a flying saucer. Conspiracy theories aside, this structural style represents a pivotal time in national park history. If you visit national parks often, you may find this hard to believe. But during the 1940s and early 1950s, national parks were being neglected. Like anything else, the reasons are complicated, but it had a lot to do with the lack of foresight and imagination. National parks were in bad shape. The Park Service needed a new, energetic vision. Just 10 years away from the 50th anniversary of the establishment of national parks, Conrad Worth, the director of the National Park Service, came up with Mission 66, a 10-year program that was intended to dramatically expand visitor services by 1966, just in time for that 50th anniversary. Worth convinced Congress of the importance of Mission 66, and the plan was approved. In 1956, Mission 66 was initiated, which included the construction of hundreds of structures to enhance the visitor experience, including 9 towers. Clingmans Dome Tower is listed on the National Register of Historic Places because it's a pretty big deal in the architectural history of the National Park Service. It represents the Park Service moving away from parkitecture, or an unfinished rustic look, and a shift towards modernism. While Clingmans Dome Tower was the model for 2 other national park towers, it's a unique structure for Mission 66. This mountaintop tower may look like a 1950s UFO, but it's emblematic of Mission 66, a massive project that focused on the visitor experience and transformed the national park system into what we know today. There is no doubt that the popularity of national parks today is due to the success of Mission 66. Even though the mission was dedicated to conservation, protection, and expansion, it focused on shaping national parks to provide as much access as possible. But there is a discussion as to whether structures like this enhance or detract from the natural landscape. As you may imagine, debate about Mission 66 is ongoing, as the Park Service is moving in a different direction. If you love visiting national parks, check out Mission 66. Chances are Mission 66 provided you with access to what you love the most about visiting the Smokies or other national parks. I've left links in the description. It's worth your time. But I want to hear what you think. Is Clingmans Dome Tower brilliant or tacky? Let me know in the comments. Number 2. Tower of the Smokies. Clingmans Dome Tower was designed by the architectural firm Bebb & Olufsen, and it was constructed in 1959. Its design was, and to some extent still is, extremely controversial, with many arguing that it simply doesn't fit the landscape. However, no one can debate its functionality. It may look like a flying saucer, and it may even be a flying saucer according to some conspiracy theorists, but it works as an observation tower. The observation tower is 45 feet tall, and on a clear day it provides visitors with a 360-degree view that may expand 100 miles into the Smokies and beyond. Walking the 375-foot-long spiral ramp builds one's anticipation for the amazing views at the top. While Clingmans Dome Tower is the high point of Great Smoky Mountains National Park, it might also be considered the centerpiece or focal point. Some estimates suggest that in 2021, of the 14 million Smoky Mountain visitors, over half visited Clingmans Dome. The observation tower is open year-round, but Clingmans Dome Road that leads to the tower closes December 1st through March 31st due to winter. This is one of the snowiest regions of the southern Appalachian Mountains. Clingmans Dome receives over 100 inches of snow per year. In our modern era, opinions about the tower's design vary. People who have walked the half mile and up the spiral ramp are typically complimentary. Tens of thousands of people return every year. On the other hand, there are those who are extremely critical of the tower's design and even its right to exist, believing that it's the eyesore of the Smokies. Number 1. Clingmans Dome and its lost apostrophe. For years, when writing about Clingmans Dome, I would write it like this, thinking I was making my 4th grade English teacher proud. But then I learned I was wrong. Not about punctuation, but there is no apostrophe in Clingmans Dome, where there should be an apostrophe. But there's a reason the apostrophe is left out. When it comes to the names of places, the National Park Service must use federally recognized names. Officially, the U.S. Board on Geographic Names makes that determination, and they are anti-possessive apostrophes. Apostrophes in the names of geographic features have been discouraged since 1890 when the board was first established. The Cherokee knew the mountain as Kuwohi, or Mulberry Place. In case you're wondering, a mulberry is kind of like a blackberry. While editing this video, I just discovered that the Eastern Band of the Cherokee Indians began discussions with the federal board to restore the name Kuwohi. And though the application for the name change hasn't been submitted, it really wouldn't surprise me to see the name of the mountain go back to Kuwohi. So are you ready for an adventure to the mountaintop flying saucer? And what fact in this video did you find the most interesting? Let us know in the comments. I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to leave a comment. It really helps the channel. If you like this video, you'll like one of these videos too. My name is Bill Marion, and this is A Nose for Life.